Terry, Caicedo is literally on Ben Jacobs, said we were leading the race. Where do you get your news from, Terry? Well, what you should first of all do is listen to what's being said before you start getting angry. But this comes from Damasio. Now, again, like we always say, I can't believe I'm going to explain this for about the 7,000th time. Don't worry about the headlines on the titles. We are presenting to you a news story that is trending. And Damasio has said that Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo will have a domino effect. If Rice goes to Arsenal, Caicedo goes to Chelsea or Bayern. It says these three clubs, Bayern, Arsenal, Chelsea, apply for Rice, Moises Caicedo. Caicedo will definitely leave Brighton. He also then goes on to say that Arsenal's interest in Kai Havertz is genuine. So again, I'm not saying Damasio is right, Ben Jacobs is wrong. Your job as a fan is to listen to this. Is what I don't know about you, Steve. When we were younger, you'd see a headline on the back of a newspaper and you and your mates would discuss it, wouldn't you? You wouldn't get angry that the Daily Mail had a different headline to the fucking Times. You'd debate them. I don't know what it is with football fans nowadays. They get angry that different journalists have different opinions. It's crazy to me. So that's the news surrounding that. We'll get on to Caicedo in a minute. I wanted to ask you, this Kai Havertz news that Arsenal are interested in him. What's your thought on that, genuinely?
Well, look at him, what he's done in the Premier League. He's been at Chelsea for how long? He's not set the world on fire. Where's he going to play? You know what I mean? What's his role at Arsenal? I don't see it. I don't see where that's come from. I don't know whether that's his agent trying to get the news out there, trying to get it bumped up or what, but it's definitely a selling market at the minute for me. I think that the selling clubs who have got decent players know that a lot of big teams are short. Liverpool, Arsenal, United, Chelsea all need to improve, so they've all got to dig deep. And I think the Brightons of this world can sit back and relax. The Napoli of these world can sit back and relax and get an extra 10, 15 million out of people. So, you know, it's going to be a mad summer. I mean, City only have to tweak, I think, depending if we lose Gundogan and Bernardo, there'll be big losses. But there's some teams that need 6 or 7. There's some teams that need to shift 6 or 7. So it's going to be a mad summer. But Kai Havertz, I just don't know where that fits in. I don't know. He was linked to Real Madrid the other day. So that's what makes me think there's an agent out there throwing a load of bullshit about. Because one minute you link to Real Madrid, now you link to Arsenal. It's like, it sounds like someone's talking him up to me.
It could be. I'm going to have to leave you talking to the audience. I've got to run and have a quick piss. I'm busting, mate. Sorry.
No problem. Listen, people, welcome back to my show. This is Big Steve, and this is the treble winning show. Yeah, I'd love to do this because Terry will hate this. This is all about Manchester City winning the treble. Yeah, and so go out, get the video. Manchester City versus Inter Milan. Manchester City 1, Inter Milan 0. Rodri, yeah, treble winners, 2023, Manchester City Football Club. Check my tattoo out. Yeah, check that out. Yeah. Done in Istanbul, in the roughest gaff in the world. Yeah. This is my show now. Straight facts with Big Steve, not Terry's. Yeah. It is what it is. So if you want to talk about Man United, you're on the wrong show. If you want to talk about Liverpool, you're on the wrong show. It's the Man City show. I know you don't like it. I know you're upset. I know Terry's gone for a piss and you hurry up that he comes back. But this is my 15 seconds of fame. Yeah. Manchester City won the treble. Yeah. Like Phil and Gary Neville. So leave your treble trophies in the chat, yeah? Get the free trophies up, yeah? James Munro, that tattoo is wild. Mate, if you'd seen the tattoo shop where I got that tattoo done the other day, you wouldn't believe that I went in there. Let me tell you that. It sold kebabs, women's clothes, and tattoos. But when you live in life with your mates, you just roll with it. You know what I mean? Just roll with it. Get them trebles out. Oh, Terry, we're having some fun here, man. Look at the chat now. The treble trophies are in there. We're all going for it here now.
Love it. Sorry about that. I was sitting there, I was like, I've really got to go to the bathroom. Yeah, like on the Kai Havertz stuff, the amount of journalists talking about it is crazy. And as you say, this might just be Havertz's agent trying to drum up as much interest as possible in him. Real Madrid have basically said, we want you, but not at the price Chelsea are kind of pushing out. I just cannot see him in an Arsenal shirt for love nor money. I can't see it at all. Personally, I can't.
No, I can't.
No, it'll be a weird move. It's a weird move as well. We're clipping this up, Big Steve. Man United laughing my ass off. Pure respect is what Tony says there. In terms of Caicedo, Arsenal fans, some are happy, some are not. Do you think they're going to get both? And do they need both to try and catch you next year? Do they need both, in your opinion, Steve?
No, I think Declan Rice would be a good signing for me. I think the experience let Arsenal down a touch. I think I was looking today at the free transfer list. There's some mad names on that free transfer list at the minute, you know. A lot of experience. Yeah, Gundogan. I don't think Gundogan's going to go there, I'll be honest. Jordi Alba seen there. Adama Traore was on a free, according to some paper I read this morning. Dembele from Lyon. There's quite a few players knocking about. I just think Arsenal need to. They're not a million miles away, because we've seen last year that the run they went on and the way they was at the top of the league for so long.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that business end of the season, you need a certain type of player that keeps everything calm and can motivate at the right times. And I just think Arsenal need a bit of that. I think they're a very young side, and I think the inexperience told. Declan Rice, great player. His time is done at West Ham. He's won the Conference League now. He can leave with his head held high. West Ham get a few quid in and maybe go to the next level. But Caicedo, I like him, but I don't think they can afford them both. I just don't think they need to do that. Don't kill yourself on both. Get Declan Rice over the line and then maybe bring a bit of experience in, and I think they're ready to go.
I get him both. As I say, he's going to be, if they do it, like, they need a massive round of applause, because you're looking at, they're talking about 110 to 115 million in total for Rice. Now, some of that might be they only have to pay if they win the Premier League or Champions League, and obviously they get more money through prize money if that happens. But to do both, you're probably looking at 170 to 180 in terms of combined total. They also need backup in defense. They need more in the attack. Have they got the pockets to go that far? Maybe. They're looking to sell a lot of people. If they do bring off both, it's massive. But it really depends on what journalists you listen to, because even the guy earlier said, Ben Jacobs said Arsenal leading the race. But Ben Jacobs also said that there's no guarantee they get both. They may be leading the race with both individuals, get Rice, and then pull away from Caicedo. But you're never going to tell Caicedo that he's second choice to Rice, because Rice could break his leg for England and be out for a year. But if you tell Caicedo that he's second choice, and then Rice gets hurt in England on England duty, you can't then go back to Caicedo and go, actually, we really want you now, because his mind might have been turned by somebody else. So you've got to listen to what the journalists say in their entirety. And that's hard, because most journalists, they do what I call bullet point journalists. They write bullet points and there's no story. And that's why I like Ben Jacobs, because at least he details everything. But that annoys a lot more fans than bullet points, because there's always like it might work for this reason, but it could go wrong there. They don't want to hear the bad side of it. But I suppose that's how you stop yourself from being disappointed.
You look at where does Jorginho fit into this? That signing was a mad one for me. Jorginho,
you don't think it was a good one?
Well, it wasn't that good, because they were winning the league when he signed, and then at the end they fell off. And he was the experience he thought might come in, but I've always thought he was a bit overhyped, to be honest. I always thought he wasn't that guy. He wasn't playing regular at the end. I just don't know where he fits in. I just don't know whether that was a panic. I mean, they had a chance to push on and win the league. They signed him, and the Polish kid at the back's been thrown in a few times. Not looked the greatest, I'll be honest, but I don't know. I just don't know. I said it on an earlier show when Arsenal lost the league. This is the most important transfer window for Arsenal and Arteta, and he's got to get it right. If they don't get it right and build on what they did last season, they could fall off a bit more, because then everyone will be saying it was a fluke season. I don't think they're a million miles away from really going for it, and they just got to get it right.
They have got to get it right. This is the first season. There's always pressure. And I think it was pressure on Arteta last year after just missing out on top 4. But now that I've said it on so many shows, that rebuild's gone. The rebuild's done, not gone. The rebuild's done. The process is complete. It's now just about the general ins and outs every summer that every club does. And it's about maintaining your levels and from their point of view, going one further. If they get themselves into a lead again, 4 or 5 points, sustaining it, going deep into the Champions League. Fans have also got to drop this nonsense of bigger fish to fry, and it's okay to like this. I can't wait. I hope this season is the first season we see where clubs and fans take the Carabao Cup and the League Cup so seriously. And the reason why you've got to is City have overtaken Chelsea in terms of total trophies won. They're closing in on about 4 or 5 behind Arsenal right now. That includes Carabao Cups as an example. And it's like they should never be scoffed at. They should never be taken lightly. You shouldn't be putting all your eggs in. Putting all your eggs into one basket thing is crazy. And I think I've always felt, Steve, that people play down those trophies as a way of not getting bantered if they go out. But there's also that element of when Chelsea won the league with Conte, not having Champions League football, the year after Leicester won it without having Champions League football, there was this new phenomenon born in football that if you don't have a midweek game, you've got a better chance of winning. But most of the teams, why that train of thought confuses me is most of the teams that have ever won the league in my lifetime do it with European football and the league to play. If you actually go through the list of teams, I don't know how many, but I guarantee you won't find maybe 3 or 4 have won it without having European football. That's Premier League era. The rest of them have. So the sheer body of weight proves that having 2 games a week, whether it makes it easier or not is irrelevant. You've got more chance of winning the league that way than not having Champions League football. I think you keep your players fresh. That rotation, and when Fergie brought rotation in the late 90s as a new thing, it's what kept his teams more consistently above his rivals because his fringe players were fit. Like when you have a team that doesn't play, like if you've got fringe players, Steve, that sit on the bench for 2 months and don't kick a ball, and then there's an injury and there's a big game on Saturday, they're not match ready. They're not ready to go. You need that rotation. So, yeah, for me, they've got to take things seriously next year because there's nowhere to hide now for Arsenal. They need these players. They need to go big next year because they're at the party now and they've got to deliver as far as I'm concerned.